I remember, going to certain stores here in Michigan, and they were closed, and there was a sign on the door that said deemed non-essential.
Yes.
All right. Well, McDonald's was open.
Yes.
And
Walmart was open.
And Home Depot was open, but there were whole aisles that were taped off that you weren't allowed to do.
You could not buy gardening implements in the state of Michigan.
Or paint.
Yeah. Wretched Gretchen said that you cannot paint your house or plant flowers in the state of Michigan during this. That was her practical advice for the COVID outbreak, what we refer to here as the lockdown.
Yep.
It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. No point in history ever. And I've looked, and I'm that history fucking weirdo.
The only thing in modern United States history that comes close was during the flu epidemic in World War I.
Oh, the Spanish flu outbreak?
Yeah.
Guess what?
I know.
Guess what History Boy did? History Boy went back and read that.
Mm-hmm.
You know where most of the disease was coming from?
From the masks.
The masks.
Yep. I know, but the
because
mentality,
just wearing the mask and not washing them, and
and it's just
getting,
But the thing is that mentality was replicated current year,
correct,
from back then.
Correct. That is 110% correct. And if you know anybody out there who wears a mask, don't bother telling them anything anymore. Just don't bother.
Yeah, they're idiots.
They're idiots. There's nothing you can do about it.
Now, I will say this, is I actually was talking to several individuals who worked ambulance companies in New York City proper, in and around the burbs.
Sure.
And that happy hypoxic thing,
mm-hmm.
that was really happening.
A lot.
Yeah. And he literally would go to work, clock in at like 7 in the morning, and he was doing a patient every 30 minutes until he clocked out at 10 o'clock. And he was picking up these people, taking them to the hospital. So there was something going on. All right. I'm not saying that, there was no virus or anything like that. Something was happening.
Okay. Here's my theory on what was happening based on what you just said.
Okay.
An entire population was ordered to use medical paraphernalia that they had never been taught how to use nor properly keep clean in any way, and not given any left or right boundaries. I ran into people wearing literally, I'm in Meijer walking through the aisle, and this woman goes walking by me wearing a plastic water bottle with the bottom cut off.
Yeah, I've seen that.
With a mask under that. And like a filter on the top of the water bottle. So you had every level of idiocy available. And it was, by the time summer kicked in, they're still wearing these masks. And one of the biggest things we learn when we do NBC, and Pop's been through this as well.
I hate NBC.
When we go through NBC, the wearing our gas mask and all of that stuff, you wear it for as short a time as possible, for one. Two, you got to change that stuff out and you got to clean it, or it's going to get respiratory issues that you're going to breathe in, and you're going to get all kinds of respiratory issues from that. And that's what was happening.
Well,
that's a lot of it was people were wearing these masks, and then I'd watch them take them off their face and put them in their butt pocket.
Correct. But this happened really early in the whole thing. So I don't know. I'm not really going to get on board in the beginning with the mask thing. What I'm going to say is this. Once the virus was out in the wild, you can't do anything about it.
There's nothing you can do.
That 2 weeks to flatten the curve that turned into 2 fucking years was a huge power grab. And we need to take steps to make sure that never fucking happens again.
One of the best things you can do is just ignore them.
Yeah. Now listen, if this virus had a 50% kill rate, okay. Now we're in a position where you might have to do some draconian shit to stop the spread.
It was 0.000013.
It was literally 0.2% higher than the flu.
Correct.
Which completely disappeared for 2 years.
Mysteriously.
Yeah. How does that happen?
Completely and utterly and mysteriously disappeared. When like I mentioned, Michigan had bad lockdowns. When I would go out, I would either not wear a mask, walk into the grocery store, and the manager would inevitably walk up to me, "Sir, you have it." I would give him the death stare. I would break out my best NCO, "I'm going to eat your fucking head now" look, and they would usually just turn around and
Yeah, listen. I mean, how many businesses got shut down? We had that one barber in the state who the governor went after with both
They raided
barrels.
him, and it ended up being a protest at Lansing.
Yeah, I was there. Me and Blake went there for that.
Yeah,
we did a bunch of interviews.
Yeah, the best one is I should have brought it tonight. I should have brought my souvenir.
Hmm.
Because I had to go into a hospital here and there or a pharmacy to pick up some prescriptions, and at one point to drop off a registration for my pistol. I made a mask from cheesecloth and butcher's twine. And it looked like somebody had made a mask from cheesecloth and butcher's twine, and that was the point. And I wore that into a hospital 2 or 3 times and a sheriff's office once. Nobody ever questioned me. A nurse took my temperature while I'm wearing a cheesecloth mask and said nothing.
I mean,
that's how psychologically gaslighted the community had become.
Well, then you have to remember if you walked into a bank without a mask on, they called the cops on you. Pre-coof, if you walked in with a mask on your face in a bank, they called the cops.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never had anybody call the cops on me.
Yeah, I never ran into that when I was, but I bank at a credit union. So.
That's fair. The worst challenge I got was at the eyeglass factory when I took my daughter to get new glasses. And the manager was just adamant she was not going to let me in, and she was like, all right. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll wait outside. But it was just ridiculous. It was like this eyeglass factory. My daughter's getting ready. Go away. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only backlash that I got was I walked into Walmart one day, and I walked in through the exit door. Granted, I just parked, and like 8 other people walked in the exact same door I walked in. The greeter turned around and says, "You need to go outside. Come in the right door." I'm like, I'm already in the same store. I have not shopped at Walmart ever since after that.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That's crazy. I did have a deli employee in Meijer come running out from behind the counter and yell at me because I didn't have a mask on. And he made a point of getting right in my face to yell at me about not having a mask on. And I just started laughing at him. And basically cried and stormed off.
Well, that's pretty much what the left does. They do a lot of crying, whining. They'll cancel you in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.